ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम गंगणपते नमः। वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। श्री गणेशाय नमः। श्री सद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। Welcome to Nitya Satsang. Today is the 11th of June 2026. This is part 2 from today. We had a little bit of an exposition earlier today because of the video is not working properly, so we're just continuing from where we left off. We've been talking about Raga and Dvesha and about the Atma Chaitanya, the Atma Tattva. The Atma Tattva is our original Swarup. As I mentioned briefly about some of the history, thousands of years have gone by. So many people, great saints have manifested, the rishis have manifested to uplift the sansar. The concept of sansar means the material manifestation that is going on and on and on. So in that tradition, Bhagwan Krishna appears and Bhagwan Vedvyasji, who is a great saint and also incarnation, writes or systematizes, categorizes the Vedas, puts them into 4 categories, puts all the Vedanta Sutras together also, writes 555 Vedanta Sutras. All the Upanishads are written, all written by one person. All 18 Puranas are written by Vedvyasji. एक ही author है. If you look at all the scriptural corpus, original corpus we have, corpus meaning the entire combination of all the texts in Sanatana Dharma, they're written only by one person, and that is Vedvyas. He's the only one. He's the one who wrote Mahabharata. Also, the Bhagavad Gita is in Mahabharata. Vishnu Sahasranam is in Mahabharata. So many pieces are inside there. Of course, other sages have obviously been there. Many, hundreds of sages. Valmiki Ramayana, Tulsi Ramayana, that is there. Ramcharitra is also in the Bhagavatam. But Vedvyasji is the root Acharya. And then from there, all Acharyas have given their commentaries, their perspectives, their interpretations on Vedvyasji's original corpus, the Bhagavad Gita. And then particularly from the Brahma Vidya point of view, Brahma Gnan, the Brahma Sutras, or sometimes they're called Vyasa Sutras or Vedanta Sutras, they all mean the same thing. There's 555, and then there is the Bhagavad Gita, 700 verses, sometimes 701 it is called, because of chapter 13. Sometimes the question that asked by Arjuna is omitted, sometimes it is not. But we can say 700 verses of Bhagavad Gita, and the 108 Upanishads. Out of that, Shankaracharya ji wrote commentaries on the 10 major Upanishads, and there's 13 principal Upanishads. This is called Prastantrayi. We've talked about this before. We should be very clear that the study of these 3, Brahma Sutras, Bhagavad Gita, and the Upanishad, this is called Prastantrayi. And on this basis, all Acharyas, Shankaracharya ji, Ramanujacharya ji, Madhvacharya ji, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sajanand Swami Maharaj, Vachanamrut उनका जो है जिसको स्वामीनारायण कहते हैं, that is also Vachanamrut, इसका ही भाष्य है. It's not anything other than that. It is वो भाष्य है on this Prastantrayi. Madhvacharya ji, Vallabhacharya ji, कितने बड़े Nimbarkacharya ji, they have all given their perspectives on this Prastantrayi in extensive commentaries upon commentaries upon commentaries. And then their disciples in Parampara, it just goes on. This should be clear. Now, obviously, we cannot drink this entire ocean. There will be 1 million books like this on this. There are more than that, in fact. How can anybody read even all those comments? Mind will become mad. You try to read all those things. You'll not be able to digest all of that. Yeah, there's some basic understanding we can have, unless you want to get a PhD. And even if you get a PhD in any one of them, that'll just be only one of them, not even 2 of them. It's like that. But our interest is realization of Atma and Paramatma, not just to be a scholarly person, intellectual person like that. We can be, and that's good. If you want to be, it's very possible. Degrees are available. I myself have a lot of material available. If you wanted material, ka to koi anti nahi hai. Get into scholarly, more intricate, technical descriptions. We do a little bit of it here, but not that much. It can get very technical. You have to open up every Sanskrit word and really compare it and what it means and things like that. And at the same time, compare commentaries upon commentaries. It's a very difficult process. It can take years, even with AIs and all that. It can take a lot of years to do that because it's very, very intricate. Prastantre Brahma Sutra ka jo bhashya hai. Ramanujacharya has written 500 pages in Sanskrit on just the first sutra. Athato Brahma Jignasa. Ramanujacharya has written Shri Bhasyam. And his entire Tattvagnan is called Vishishtadvaitam, qualified non-dualism. So these things they become very abstract. And we don't want that. We want to make it very real and practical. It shouldn't be, and it's really not abstract. It's actually very real and practical once we understand how to tap into it that way. So this is why Sachin's prarthana, first to myself, prarthana to Bhagwan actually, and then to Bhagwan within us, ऐसी बुद्धि दीजिए प्रभु कि भगवद गीता का व्यवस्थित अभ्यास हम सब कर सकते हैं. गीता जी is Gita. You don't have to worry about all the other scriptures. वो ठीक है, commentaries भी है, सब कुछ. Go to the original Bhagavad Gita के verses, chapter 12, chapter 15, chapter 2. थोड़ा गीता जी का ज्ञान हम, if we can digest it, गुणातीतानंद स्वामी जी क्या कहते थे, जो थोड़ું જ જ્ઞાન હોય પણ કેટલું પચી જાય, how much is digested, દેહ પર્યંત સારદાર રહે તો સારું. Volumes of, it's the example that is given. If you go to a buffet, I don't know if you've ever been to one of these 500 massive items. I don't remember the restaurant. There used to be one here in Delaware. A massive buffet. Everything. You have like 1,000 items. If you go to the ice cream here, they have like 30 varieties of different ice creams and soft serve and this thing and that thing. God knows. And I think they were charging like $25 a person or something. I forgot the name of the place. It was when we were growing up. I totally forgot the name of the place. And you pay $25. You say, "Wow, my God, ye kya hai sab? My goodness, thousands of items. We have vegetarian section. 300 items are over there. Itna sab, Chinese and Japanese and salads upon salads. They used to have something like this here. Can we eat all that? I can go in the restaurant and say, wow, Shastra essay. This is the beauty of all this Shastra. Just on the Bhagavad Gita, if you go to YouTube mein search karenge, and on other websites and all, it's like millions of hours. I mean, that's not even a exaggeration of commentaries from so many organizations, so many good, and more and more and more and more added again and again and again. You keep searching, you'll find endless amount of material almost. Just it's like that. We live in this world now where massive amount of information is available. It's like going into a buffet with 1,000 items. Wow. Okay. But if I'm hungry, think about it this: if I'm hungry, I need to take a plate, take a couple of items from there, sit with my good friend or whoever is with me, Bhagwan ka naam lena, enjoy. I cannot eat 1,000 items. I can appreciate 1,000 items. I have the choice of taking anything I want from there. But what is going to satisfy my hunger is what I eat. What I chew, what I swallow, what I digest. If it's not digested, it's meaningless. Gunatitanand Swami, again, Swamini Vato. Kitni sundar baat hai. Khava na male ane na pache amotu be dukshe sansarma. If you don't get food to eat, that's a problem. And if you get food to eat and our belly is full, but it doesn't digest, vomit out, that's a problem. The food we eat from that 1,000 item buffet has to be chewed, swallowed, and digested. If it's digested and absorbed properly, we won the game. Now, what is more important? Just to say, wow, this is a 1,000 item buffet, and then go home hungry without eating even one tomato, cherry tomato. Or to have maybe 2 platefuls of different items, some drinks, some soft drinks, whatever you want. Trupta ho gaye, baat ho gaye, anand. And then it digests nicely. Isn't that what it's all about? In the same way, in exactly the same way, the Bhagavad Gita's verses, we can write commentaries, we can say thousands of pravachans, even every day we're doing so much exposition. It's good, it's absolutely fine. Good to have a massive buffet. Kitna anubhav mein aa gaya hai. So what we need to do is to take a verse, take an idea like this Rag Dvesh idea, and what we're trying to do also. Many of us are trying to do that. Bhagwan ki upasana karte, prarthana karte, we're doing our sadhanas in our own way. Whichever we're going about it, it's fine. But as far as these shastras are concerned, to take the verse, and we're going to go through one of the verses today. Chapter 2, verse 25, we're going to look at that verse today. Take it, listen to it, understand it, bring it inside. Manan chintan karo. That's the digestion process. Shravan, Manan, Nididhyasana. Vedanta teaches us how to do this. We're going to hear verse 25 in just a moment. I'm going to take a few extra minutes here. I hope you don't mind. You'll enjoy it. It's very interesting. We're going to listen to this verse. We're going to break it down, understand it as thoroughly as possible, as very nicely. And then, iska manan. After the exposition is done, I'm telling myself, you can tell yourself, go into this verse, look it up on AI, look it up on online, look it up in the Google, look it up anywhere you want. There's all kinds of information available. Information is available. It's called manan. Mananam means repetition. Okay, this verse was spoken today, it was presented by Sachin here on the 11th. We keep a notebook, 2.25. This is a shorthand, BG 2.25. Write it down. Likh dena. Bring and then study the verse. Study it again and again. What is the internal meaning? Connect it with other knowledge, other pieces. Bring it inside. Bhagwan ki upasana karna, mantra karna, and bring the truth. Ask Sri Krishna Paramatma, Hey Prabhu, ये भक्ति की बात है. आप राम जी की भक्ति करते हो, you can use the same verse. शिव जी की भक्ति करते हैं, स्वामीनारायण की भक्ति करते हैं, साईं बाबा की भक्ति करते हैं, जिसकी भक्ति करते हैं, भगवान तो एक ही तत्व है. जीसस की भक्ति करते, गुरु नानक देव की भक्ति, गुरु ग्रंथ साहब, जिसकी भक्ति करो, गॉड इज ओनली वन. वो तो दो है ही नहीं, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल. And that one is also inside of us, on top of that. We're within us. So it doesn't matter which way you go, the one supreme Paramatma, unko yaad karna. Ke hey Prabhu, hey, mere jo ishta hai. And take this verse and ask Paramatma, hey Prabhu, bring it inside of me. Manan chintan, manan chintan, manan chintan. Chintan and manan mein kya farak hai? When we listen to this verse, I'm giving the process here. We listen to it, that is Shravan. Remember it again and again, that is Mananam. Chintan is to cross-connect. That is called Chintan. It's called Manan Chintan. Remembering and cross-connecting. Remembering, which we don't do that. We are cross-connecting only this worldly experience. Somebody said this to me, this thing happened, this is happening in the war, this is happening in politics, this, all that, wohi sab chalta hai. And our mind is filled with the Manan Chintan of this sansar, or usme jo rag dvesh, this is rag dvesh. Attraction, repulsion, aversion, this, that. इसमें ही मन डूबा है. मन आनी अंदर बंधाई गयलू है. गुजराती भी से. Isn't it so? Think about it. And again, not to worry about anybody else. मेरी मनोवृत्ति कहाँ जा रही है? कितनी साधना हुई आज? कितने मंत्र जाप हुए? कितना ये जो गीता जी का श्लोक, we're going to look at it in just a moment. Is it going to sit inside? Sometimes we listen, okay, Sachin presented this, somebody presented this, I heard something, kuch hua tha, something is there, and our mind is completely trapped in the mud of this sansar. Sansar rupi kadav in Gujarati we say. Ani andar doobi gayo chhe jeev. Don't need to be stuck in the sansar. Sansar ke saath rehna, karma yog karna, uske saath. Enough. Sarva jive hitava, sabka kalyan ho jaye. Enough. Don't bring anything else inside. It's meaningless. That much is necessary. Okay, how much trash we keep putting inside. Gita ji ke shlok antar mein lana. Kiski tayari hai? हमारी तैयारी है करने के लिए, तो when we do this भगवान आ जाएंगे हमारे पास, वो डेफिनेटली आ जाएंगे, प्रश्न ही नहीं है. But this is the process. पुरुषार्थ, पुरुष प्रयत्न. There's a Vachanamrut, Sarangpur 11 Vachanamrut. Sarangpur is a small village, this. And this discussion is there. Muktanand Swami asks Shriji Maharaj, he asks Maharaj, hey Prabhu, how much development happens through Purush Prayatna, meaning our efforts, and how much of this enlightenment, realization of God happens through Ishwar Krupa, Bhagwan ki Krupa? It's a very interesting question. And the answer is, actually we know this answer, right? The answer is we have to put 100% effort in. And Ishwar ki Krupa kis par hoti hai, jis wo 100% effort, not 99%, 100% effort has to be there. But without ego, without ahankar, the Shakti in the effort is also coming from Paramatma, with humility. When we put 100% effort, Purush Prayatna, Purush doesn't mean man, it means person. Purusharth is called. Purusharth or Purush Prayatna. Yatna sometimes in shorthand it is called. Then Bhagwan ki Krupa, it flows. And these doors open into Atma, Paramatma, Brahma, Parabrahma, sab open hota. Why and when? When does it happen? When a person wants that to happen. To go beyond Raga Dvesha. To go beyond the dualities of the Sansar. Sansar is pura dvand mein man fasai. Mind has gotten trapped inside there. So now let's go into this verse. If you're taking notes, हमारी बहुत आप सबको चरणों में प्रार्थना है, आप लिख दीजिए please. 2.25. I'm going to spend the next 15 minutes talking about this, and we can spend more time if you want. It's all right. Beautiful verse. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Avyaktoyam Achintoyam Avikaroyam Uchyate Tasmadevam Viditvainam Nanushochitum Arhasi. I'm going to break it down for you. Each word is as follows. Avyaktaha Ayam Achintyaha Ayam Avikaryaha Ayam Uchyate Tasmat Evam Viditva Enam Na. This is called Pad Ched. So when we take the verse and when we break the words down, we break one word at a time because the words are connected through the sandhis in the Sanskrit language. So this is called Pad Ched. So Avyaktaha Ayam. So the first word Avyaktaha means unmanifest, not perceptible to the senses. Very interesting. This is referring to the Atma. If you say, show me the Atma, how can we see? The Atma is not within the range of the senses. That is why the first word is Avyaktaha, 2.25. This is the reference. Avyaktaha Ayam. Ayam means this Atma. Who I am. Ayam. That's why that in the Upanishad this word is there. Ayam Atma Brahma. Very interesting. So who am I? I don't know because it is not known to the senses. In Gujarati we can say Avyakta Indriyothi Agrahya. This is how it is written in Gujarati. Indriyothi Agrahya. Agrahya means it cannot be captured by the Indriyas. Not perceptible to the senses. The eyes cannot see the Atma. The ears cannot hear the Atma. It's not like that. Eyes are going to capture what is the objects of the world and the certain experience. So the 5 senses are called Gnan Indriya. Please write this down. Gnan here doesn't mean realization of the Atma and Paramatma. Not that kind of Gnan. The word Gnan here means information, that the information is captured. The same word is used in a different way. It's called Gyan Indriya or Gnan Indriya. Indriya means senses. How many are there? There's 5. Eyes, ears, nose, sense of touch, tongue. This is called, and then the experience is called the Vishaya. Vishaya means the objects, right? So there's some terminology that we use all the time. I hope this is very clear. Panch Vishaya. Shabda, Sparsha, Roop, Ras, Gandh. Isn't it so? Shabda means ears, Roop means the form, Gandh meaning from our nose, taste is the rasa. So these 5 senses cannot capture or experience the Atma. It cannot. Bhagwan kehte hain in the Gita. They cannot capture it. So that's why it is avyaktaha. So the Atma is avyaktaha. Atma is avyaktaha. Unperceptible. It cannot be perceived. Not only is it avyaktaha, at the mental level, achintayaha. It cannot be thought. We cannot think about the Atma. I can think about the world. I can think about my parents. I can think about my clothing. I can think about the projects I'm working on. I can think about how hot it is going to be today. It's going to be pretty hot today, apparently. I can think about so many things, right? But in Sanskrit, the word is achintayaha. See the accuracy of the language. God has spoken. Beyond ordinary thought, our thinking cannot reach there. So our senses cannot reach the Atma. Achintaya ayam. Again, ayam meaning Atma. Who I am. Fascinating, really. Kitna interesting hai that the senses cannot touch it. My mind cannot, we cannot think about the Atma. Our thinking cannot even touch the Atma. That is why Western philosophy particularly is stuck at that level. I can show you, I have a lot of research on that. Kabhi aana hai ghar mein, yahan aa jao, main aapko bataunga. Western philosophy is stuck into right here. This one word shows where Western philosophy is stuck. Because you're trying to get into the ultimate reality through thinking about that. You'll not be able to think about the Atman. Atma, you cannot think about it. Achinteha ayam. Now, what is the Atma like? The next 2 words talk about that. Avikaryaha ayam. That's awesome. That's absolutely beautiful. Kitni sundar baat hai. Because we can see in our...
What does ayam mean, Sachin?
Ayam means this Atma, my Atma. That the Atma, ayam means me. That the Atma Tat Chaitanya, that is what the word ayam means. So it is used multiple times. Avyaktaha ayam. Achintayaha ayam. Hold on just 1 second. Hello, Sachin Karnik speaking. Hello?
Hello, Sachin. We are calling from Keep to let you know that we have successfully scheduled your appointment for Friday, June 12th between 4 p.m. and 7 a.m. Please don't...
Sorry about that. There's an electrician coming to my place tomorrow. One of the breakers is out. That's what that appointment was. Very interesting, right? Let's go into it very carefully. So the word ayam means this self. In Gujarati we say Atma. So it's a referential word. It's a word that is used in the Sanskrit language to refer to the Atma because the rishis realized the Atma. But so they realized this great reality that is who we are, but they also are trying to show what it is by what it is not. Or by how or where the mistakes are made in trying to understand that or trying to realize that, because we cannot realize it through the senses. This is the first point. Not only that, we cannot realize it through the mind. The man, buddhi, chit, ahankar cannot touch it. Avyaktaha, ayam, achintayaha, ayam. But now, there is an indication of how to approach the ayam Atma, the who we are, our original self. This is word the 1, 2, 3, 4. The fifth word in this verse is avikaryaha ayam. Avikarya. Vikar rahit. Vikar means what? In Gujarati we say avikari parivartan na pamnar. Parivartan means change. What do we see through our senses? Everything is changing. Our mind is also changing. It's a process. The TEMDE, thought, emotion, memory, desire, energy, these are changing. Isn't it so? That is changing. Look at our thoughts. Look at our body right now. I look at my face. I said, my God, I look like this. That's not me, really. 5 years ago, there was a full head of hair and all that. I shaved it all off. Look, it's a change to different vritti, different kind of thinking. The state of mind is different than it was 10 years ago, 10 minutes ago even, or 10 seconds ago even. Everything is vikar. Vikar means change, subject to modification. Even things that appear solid, they are changing. They will automatically change, degrade, change into something else. So avikaryaha ayam. Now that's an indication that the self, the Atma, is avikaryaha. It is not changing. It is eternal. That sounds very nice. But that is a declaration. That is why the next word is uchyate. See, avyaktaha ayam, achintayaha ayam, avikaryaha ayam, uchyate. Uchyate means it is declared. Why Bhagavan Krishna is saying? Because it is coming from thousands of years back. From the Veda Upanishadic time period, and even before that, whenever that was, it has been said in thousands and thousands of generations and years and years and years. It has been declared this way, that it is avikaryaha. It has been declared with 3 points. That it is avyaktaha, it is achintayaha, it is avikaryaha. 3 point है. हमारा स्वरूप ऐसा है. Beautiful. बहुत सुंदर बात है. आहा. Evam. So in this way, so this is the sadhana is shown here, is to discover in this way that avikari tattva. In this way, viditva, understand. Bhagwan kehte, understand thoroughly this thing. This is the meaning of having understood, having known. Avirite samajhu, avirite janvu. It's not just an intellectual information. We are listening to it now. We're doing Shravanam, all of us together. We're listening to Bhagwan Krishna in this verse. It should be very clear. Now, as we understand this, viditva means having understood this, having known this, having seen this, having internalized this. Enam, viditva enam. That this self what does it mean here? See, enam na anushochitum. Sorry, let me say that again. Anushochitum arhasi. Anushochitam means what? See, enam na anushochitam. With the sorrow of living in this world. Sorrow, pain, chinta, grief, all those things we talked about before. All these 10 deficiencies that we have been looking at, that is causing unhappiness. Greed, kam, krodh, lobh, moha, mad, matsarya, asha, irsha, ahankar, all those things, right? So Bhagwan kya kehte hai? Anushochitum, na anushochitam. Anushochitum means grieving, feeling sad, feeling sorry, lamenting. You should not. Na anushochitam arhasi. Arhasi means you ought to. You ought to realize this and not get into a state of sorrow. Why? Why is there no sorrow? Because of 3 points. That you, the third point is you are avikari. Avikaryaha ayam. मैं शाश्वत हूँ, नित्य हूँ, अजो नित्य है, शाश्वत हूँ, यम पुराण. इन वचनामृत में भी इसका बहुत एक्सपोजिशन है. यू आर अजर, अमर, ageless, deathless, and you are avikari. We are so caught up in the changes. Changes are always going to happen. When Bhagwan is using this word avikaryaha, it means that the transformation of the outside world, the transformation of the inner world, transformation meaning the changes. Transformation may not be the best word, but the modifications are always going to continue. Parivartanshil jagat che. That is the nature of the world. The child is born, child is grown. It's changing. Young age, childhood, youth, adulthood, old age. It goes on. Balya avastha, yovan avastha, vruddha avastha. Isn't it so? इस श्लोक पर बहुत मनन करना चाहिए कि 3 point, there are 3 points. Avyaktaha. First of all, running inside this sansar, which is a jungle, trying to discover eternal joy, eternal ananda, is a futile effort. It will never happen. Because the Atma is avyaktaha. It cannot ever be touched by the senses. Never. Not under any. What will be known by the senses is the worldly experience. The knower behind the senses and the mind, that is the Atma. That is the avikaryaha, ayam. Jisko koi vikar nahi. But that is a discovery, realization of our own original self. And in that realization, as we move towards that realization, our bhakti, because if you connect many other verses in this, Bhagwan is saying here, na anusho chitum arhasi. Arhasi means do not grieve. You ought not. You should not. It is not worthy of any kind of grief. There's so much pain and suffering in this world. But to go outside the matrix of pain, suffering, sorrow, to actually evolve out of that, when we hold this teaching inside, because it is a upadesham, Bhagwan is giving this upadesham. He's giving this teaching that you are avikari. Avikaryaha ayam uchyate. It has been declared, it has been realized already by so many, and now you also realize. But get out of that domain of sorrow. How do we get out? Now we can connect this with the Bhagavatam. 9 forms of bhakti. Ishta bhakti. After we've been talking about that, this is how it connects. That the senses we have, because all we have are the senses in the mind. So this is where Bhagwan aate hai, avatars are there. Bhagwan ki murti hai, shastra hai, other things are there. We have to connect with our Ishta Devata. And in that connection, through the 9 forms of devotion, our Shakti that is inside, that is getting entangled and lost in the changing world, and is lost in the jungle of the sansar, in the waking dream states, is no longer lost there, no longer stuck there. activity continues. But we are not lost in the jungle anymore. We have found ourselves. To actually find oneself, this doorway of akhanda bhakti, Bhagwan ki akhanda bhakti and saintliness, abhav, avgun, all those, forget, I don't want to mention that trash even. Amrut ka पान कीजिए, सद्गुण आने चाहिए जीवन में. तो 64 saintly qualities are there, 64 lakshan, Hari Gita. Write them down. I've sent them before, I'll send it again if you want. And we're going to have a big volume on that at some point. Those 64 qualities, they should be pasted in the mandir or like in your sadhana. Put it on the refrigerator. Put it 7 different places in the home. That's me, that's me, that's me. 64 qualities of saints. People think, ye to mere mein kaise ho jayega? You know, Ramakrishna Paramahansa is great. Muktanand Swami is great. This person is great. I don't want. I can worship them, but this is me. What do you mean this is me? Oh my God. We don't want. This is the problem. This is why we never reach this avikariyaha ayam state. That avikari jo divya भगवान का जो धाम है, भगवान का धाम, भगवान स्वयं और आत्मा, वो अविकारी अविकारी. भगवान के जो मुक्त है, they are all eternal. But to enter into that domain, saintly qualities, sant ke gun, sadhuta, there's no other way. Sorry. Without saintly qualities, the Atma can never be realized. Doesn't matter how many verses of Gita we know or how many scriptures we have read or whatever sadhanas we have done, mantra sadhana kitni bhi karo, it will all go down to zero because our internal deficiencies they're chewing up all the development. Those 10 deficiencies we've been talking about, they are वो सब राक्षसी वृत्ति है that destroys the internal development towards Paramatma. प्रश्न ही नहीं है. इसीलिए भगवान कहते हैं विदित्वा एनम. Understand. It's a beautiful word. Viditva means absolute understanding. That is our sadhana. Understand these points. How am I stuck? Where the sense is going? What is my kind of bhakti that is going on? You know, how is the energy flow inside? Where are the saintly qualities inside of me? Am I getting judgmental with people? If we have negative thought about even one person, we cannot realize God. We have to go beyond the negative and the positive. Shubha Shubha Parityagi Bhaktiman Me Priyo Naraha. Generally that happens. Maybe somebody on TV, some politician, this and that. Uska bhi hit. Sarva Jiva Hitava. Wish well for all, and not just human beings. All beings. Sarvetra Sukhinaha Santu, Sarve Santu Niramaya. These qualities, when they open from inside, actually in Akhanda Bhakti, in Divya Bhakti, Radha Nam, Krishna Nam, through the Gurus, we have great saints today, like Premanandji and others, fully awakened beings. Prem se, they're just brimming with love, showering love to all. What can we gain from that? What do they want? They don't want anything for themselves. They're not living in ego dimension. ऐसे बहुत बड़े-बड़े संत हैं, सबका गुण लेना. Take something good from everyone. So we become ready to move out of that dimension of vikar into avikar. Avikaryaha ayam uchyate tasmat evam viditva enam na anushochitum arhasi. All the grieving, lamentation, pain, sorrow, this, that, everything just stops. And our bhakti becomes unobstructed towards the feet of Narayana. Aha! Bhakti becomes solid. When we bring this verse, iska manan chintan, Today, Sachin has done some exposition. You can look at it yourself and that's fine. You can study it further. Realization, to bring it inside. Don't forget this verse. I'm telling myself, not all of you. 2.25, right? It should be fixed inside. Like we remember all these worldly things, right? Fix it inside. Mahima hona chahiye iska. Kya baat hai ye? My God, this is amazing. That mahatmya, that mahima, that excitement to hold it inside. कृष्ण भगवान की जो मूर्ति है, राधा जी की मूर्ति, उनके चरणों में पुष्पार्पण कीजिए. मानसिक आप कर सकते हैं, हम सब कर सकते हैं. And हे प्रभु, बस आपकी दया, कृपा, ये आपकी जो what you have taught, let it be realized. Please, grace, please let. So we have to try 100%. पुरुष प्रयत्न. ભગવાન की દયા હોતી, કૃપા હોતી. કરડા પ્રથમ 5 વચનામૃત. ભગવાનની મોટી કૃપા થાય. રાધિકાએ સહિત શ્રી કૃષ્ણ ભગવાન એનું ધ્યાન કરું, મહારાજ કહેતે. અને ધ્યાન છોડવું ને, કાયર થઈને don't let go of the God, of the Lord. So when we're doing Sri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Sri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Sri Krishna Tvam Gatir Mama, Hare Krishna mantra, जो भी मंत्र है भगवान का, भगवान को छोड़ना नहीं. And so the mantra sadhana, stotras are there, in the shastra, this is shastra. Bring that verse inside, uski pratishtha kijiye. This is called murti pratishtapanam. Murti pratishtha. This is murti pratishtha, by the way. 2.25 for today. Yes, this is not to be forgotten. You can memorize the verse, break it down, memorize it. It's not so hard. What is so hard about it? Just break it down slowly and bring it inside. And then go into it further. And it will start to live inside. It will be Chaitanya. The mind is then absorbed in Bhagavad Gita verse 2.25. Not simply repeating it and thinking about it and talking about it. That's okay. As we're doing, that's fine. But there's a level beyond that bring it inside and start living it. Let it live inside. आप एकांत में बैठे हैं, नेचर में बैठे हैं, इसका मनन चिंतन होना चाहिए. Again and again and again. And then from that, our mind gets more and more tuned towards bhakti. Because there's a guarantee here that once you discover the avikariya tattva, all the sorrow disappears. So don't get into the state of sorrow. You can start with that yes, sorrow, pain, suffering, this, that, sab chal raha hai. This is all part of the transitory world. That is part of vikar. Vikar hai sab hai. And avikar. Avikaryaha ayam. I am avikari. मैं ब्रह्म हूँ, मैं आत्मा हूँ, मैं दिव्य हूँ. That is Atmanishta. That belief comes about first with bhakti. And then, as bhakti increases, because we have only our senses and our mind to use, the mind and everything gets ready. That doorway opens out of all of the fluctuation, the transitory world, into that which is actually inconceivable. Achintaya ayam. That which is inconceivable reveals. That is outside the Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, waking, dream, deep sleep state. It is outside that. It is beyond that. It is the actual transcendental dimension. It is the dimension that we can realize. कितनी सुंदर बात है. इसमें पूरा, you know what this is? There is no fear. Fear is gone. Worry is gone. Tension is gone. This rag and dvesha, they're gone. Aham and mamatva, they're gone. Kam, krodh, lobh, moha, matsarya, irsha, asha, trushna, ahankar. All those mental modifications, deficiencies, they're gone. This is the power of Bhagavad Gita. But to actually appreciate that, not just appreciate, to realize, internalize. It's like the buffet thing example I gave. Take 2 platefuls of some items and really enjoy them. You can say, how did you enjoy your lunch? It was very nice. How many items did you eat? We ate 15 different small items. How many items were there in the buffet? 1,000 dishes. Did you eat 1,000 dishes? No. Is it necessary? No. The hunger is satisfied with limited quantity. This one verse is enough, but it's my internally jao. Bring it inside. And the pratishta, this is called murti pratishtapanam. When we bring it inside, manan chintan, it stays. And then our vritti, our mental vritti begins to transform in such a way that there is natural vairagya and jnana. Because we realize that what we are looking for in the transitory, temporary, changing world, we will only get transitory, temporary, changing experiences. Nitya Shashvata, jo original Ananda, Maha Ananda, iski prapti isme ho hi nahi sakti. So you become steady. You don't reject experiences. Experiences continue. But there is realization. You cannot find the infinite, unchanging bliss, Ananda, in the transitory world. That is a realization. Achintayaha. Somebody thinks, I'll intellectually try to touch that. No, sir. Or madam. Kabhi bhi nahi hoga. That's why Western philosophy is stuck. Even Eastern philosophy. Eastern philosophy is not the right word. Wo darshan shastra hai. The word philosophy is not the right word actually. It is darshan. They have realized it's a vision into the reality, and from that the philosophy has come. That's okay. But if you just get stuck in philosophies of these acharyas, that is not going to help anybody. It is the realization. They had realization. They want to recreate that realization for us. And what has to end is this sorrow. Anushochitum arhasi. Na anushochitum arhasi. All the sorrow has to go. So then our energies, hamari jo antarik shakti, sampurna, it becomes powerful from inside. It's not ego. It is Mahashakti. This is where the Navaran Mahamantra comes into the picture. Because this is a game of Shakti. Even though the word Shakti is not in this verse directly, it is nothing but Shakti. It is only talking about Shakti if you really understand this. Because what happens, our energies that are split inside this sansar, they all come together. And akhanda chintan, Bhagwan ka chintan hum kar sakte hai. Chintan in what sense? Bhagwan ki leela, Bhagwan ka swarup. And that is why the incarnations come, because that tattva is achintya. Bhagwan or Bhagwan ka dham or jo Atma ki jo baat, it is achintya. You cannot, so that's why God takes form like us. So pratyaksha roop mein aate hai, and this is where the concept of avatar comes into the picture. And then the Gita chapter 4, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yogeti tatvatah tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mamiti swarja. Bhagwan aate hai swayam, so becomes accessible to our senses. That's why we have Murti of Sri Krishna, Sri Radha ji, Vitthal ji, whatever, Srinath ji, jo bhi hai, right? Bhagwan ki jo Murti hai, Bhagwan ke santon ke jo photo hai, why that is there? Because it is available for us to access. So we can do bhakti. Hum bhakti kaise kar sakenge? And then, as the antakarana evolves inside, as our vritti gets connected in bhakti towards Bhagavan, that freedom appears. Jivan mukta sthiti aa jati. जो कृपा से आती है, by the way, it भगवत कृपा से आती है. Yes. It happens. And in that, we live in the changing world. The changing world doesn't affect us anymore. Avyaktaha ayam. That ayam tattva, that Atma tattva, is living in the manifest world. But there's realization in the mind of the bhakta that my original form is avikaryaha. मेरा में कोई विकार नहीं है. Vikar meaning all deficiencies of the mind, the changes, modifications, mind, body, senses, world, everything which is vikarvan. It is avikaryaha. Avikaryaha ayam uchyate. It has been said, declared. It's Bhagavan Krishna is saying, I'm not making this up. This has been there for thousands of years. He's the source of that also. Tasma, therefore, evam viditva, realize. Therefore, realize these points. Realize it and hold on to it. And don't have any kind of unhappiness. We are so caught up in unhappiness, worry, tension, fear, this, that. Iski jaruri nahi. It becomes irrelevant. It becomes irrelevant. Even if there's all kinds of suffering in the world, you are steady because it is vikarma. It doesn't mean you don't care. It's not like that. There is sarva bhuta hite rata, wishing well for all. That is a saintly quality. But there's no entanglement in the modifications of the world. One is not stuck there. We do your duty because you can get stuck even with human level compassion and get stuck and trapped inside the pain of others. Getting stuck and trapped in the pain of others doesn't solve their pain. It adds to the pain by you're also connecting with the pain. Never get stuck with anybody's pain. Prarthna karo. Bhagwan ko prarthna karo. Ko iska dukh nikal jaye. Don't internalize anybody's pain. Don't internalize anybody's deficiency. In fact, the point is not to internalize the names and forms in this sansar at all. Leave them where they are. They need to be in memory to some extent. Don't internalize them and get stuck with them. Nam, Rup, Akar. That is what Vedanta teaches. And that is where we are no longer going to have any sorrow, because the body itself, the mind itself and everything else, it is a bubble. It is changing. It is, वो विकारवान है सब. इसके साथ क्या बंधन रखना, किसके साथ बंधन रखना? All the forms that we see, they are all temporary. Functionally, transactional reality, we have to keep our home properly set. We have to have the right relationship with the material world. In fact, when we begin to progress this way, the relationship becomes beautiful across all 12 dimensions. That is our angel wing program. Our relationships with our family, relationships with friends, and relationship with food, and relationship with our clothing, and relationship, I don't know, whatever, right? Relationship with the whole material reality. It becomes non-conflictual, non-fragmented. The relative level is maintained. It is called Vyavarika Satyam, Vyavarika level of interaction, transactional reality. It becomes no issue. J. Krishnamurti talked about that as the harmony between the known and the unknown. He uses the word unknown because it is avyaktaha, achinteha, is right from here. I don't think he was referring to the Gita, but it's his own observations and realization. Let's stop here for now. I took some extra time, but how beautiful this is. Kitni sundar baat hai. Because aap sabke charanon mein prarthna. A lot of prayers to all the gurus, saints, sages, Bhagwan ke bhakta. Ke ye sab aa jaye. Bhagwan Sri Krishna Paramatma, Radhika ji, all Guru Parampara. Unki krupa se. This verse, 2.25, don't forget this verse. Write it down. Bring it inside. On this day, at this time, it is offered, this entire exposition is offered at the feet of Sri Krishna Bhagwan and Radha ji. Unki daya se, krupa se, hamari प्रगति कंटिन्यूअस डेवलपमेंट हो जाए, ऐसी प्रार्थना. ओम वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा. ओम ऐं ह्रीं क्लीं चामुण्डाय विचे. ओम ग्लौं हूं क्लीं जुं सा ज्वालय ज्वालय ज्वल ज्वल प्रज्वल प्रज्वल. ऐं ह्रीं क्लीं चामुण्डाय विचे ज्वल हम सम लमक्षम फट् स्वाहा. श्री राधा कृष्णाय नमो नमः. ह्रीं